Every fear you have about death is based on an assumption that quantum physics just proved wrong. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which assumption that is. Not as comfort, not as philosophy, not as religion, as physics. I need you to stay with me because this one builds, and the piece at the end, the third piece, is the one that connects everything we have covered across this entire series. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Let's start with something that happened in a laboratory in 2023 that the mainstream media barely covered. Researchers at the University of Michigan were conducting a study on patients in cardiac arrest. Standard monitoring equipment, electroencephalography, recording brain activity in real time. The study was designed to understand the neural correlates of consciousness. What they recorded changed the question they were asking. In the exact seconds after the heart stopped, after circulation ceased, after the brain lost its blood supply, after the moment everyone in that room would have called death, the brain did not shut down. It surged. Gamma waves flooded the dying brain. Gamma waves are the highest frequency brain waves associated with conscious experience. They are the waves produced during peak focus, during moments of profound insight, during the most vivid and organized experiences a human being can have. They are associated with states of heightened awareness, not with shutdown. And in the dying brain, the gamma wave activity reached levels higher than anything recorded during normal waking life. The researchers were not expecting this. Nobody was. The dying brain was not fading to darkness. It was reaching a peak of conscious activity that it had never achieved before. For a brief window, measured in seconds, the consciousness in that brain was more present, more organized, and more intense than in any moment of the decades of life that preceded it. The team published their findings. They were careful with their language. Scientists always are when the data points somewhere uncomfortable. But the data was the data, and the question it raised was the one that quantum physics is now equipped for the first time in history to answer. What was happening in that moment, and what happened next? To understand the answer, I need to give you three separate pieces. Each one comes from a different branch of physics. Each one leads to the same place. The first piece you already have from our previous episodes. In episode 3, we covered the Orch-OR theory of quantum consciousness proposed by physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff. Their core argument is that consciousness is not produced by classical neurocomputation. It arises from quantum processes occurring inside the microtubules, protein structures inside neurons that are small enough for quantum effects to operate. In their model, the brain is not a generator of consciousness. It is a receiver, a biological instrument tuned to process quantum information from a deeper level of reality. This distinction, generator versus receiver, is everything when it comes to death. Because if the brain generates consciousness the way fire generates heat, then when the fire goes out, the heat is gone. The experience ends with the biological process that produced it. But if the brain receives consciousness the way radio receives a signal, then when the radio breaks, the signal does not break with it. The signal was never inside the radio. The radio was inside the signal. When the brain stops, the instrument stops. The signal continues. And quantum mechanics has a law that makes this not a metaphor, but a physical requirement. The quantum no-deletion theorem, one of the most rigorously established principles in quantum information theory. Near-death experiences have been reported across every culture in recorded human history. Different languages, different religions, different continents, different centuries. The accounts are remarkably consistent. The sensation of leaving the body, the perception of the surrounding from a position outside the physical body, a movement toward light, a life review, the entirety of an existence experienced not as a sequence, but as a simultaneous whole. Every moment present at once. Profound peace, sometimes encounters with others who are already gone. For most of the 20th century, medical science had a clean explanation for all of this. Hallucination, oxygen deprivation, random neurofiring as the brain loses blood supply, the last desperate activity of a system in shutdown. It was the reasonable explanation. It fit the available data.
Then the Michigan data arrived, and the explanation stopped fitting. Because if the dying brain is hallucinating, if it is producing random disorganized activity as it loses function, then the EEG should show decreasing coherence, decreasing organization, decreasing amplitude as the brain shuts down. That is not what was recorded. What was recorded was the opposite: increasing coherence, increasing organization, gamma wave activity at a level the brain had never produced during life. This is not the signature of a hallucinating brain. This is the signature of a brain processing experience at maximum capacity. The near-death experience, the light, the life review, the sensation of expanded awareness may not be a hallucination produced by a dying brain. It may be the most real experience of an entire life, happening at the exact moment everyone assumed experience was ending. The physics does not tell us the content of that experience. It does not tell us what the light is or why the life review occurs as a simultaneous whole rather than a sequence, but it tells us the experience is real, and it tells us the information processing producing it is at its absolute peak at the precise moment we assumed it was stopping. This is quantum existence. If this channel is showing you things that nobody else is willing to follow all the way to their conclusions, subscribe now and turn on notifications. We post every week. The next episode is the one this entire series has been building toward. You do not want to miss it. The third piece is the one physicists speak about quietly, and to understand it, I need you to remember episode 2, the block universe. General relativity, Einstein's theory of spacetime, does not describe time as a river flowing from past to future. It describes spacetime as a four-dimensional structure in which all moments exist simultaneously as permanent locations. The past does not disappear when it is over. It exists at a different coordinate. The moment of your birth is as present and as real in the structure of spacetime as this moment right now. It does not fade. It does not become less real as time moves forward. It is fixed permanently, immovably. Every physicist who works with general relativity understands this implication. Most of them do not discuss it publicly in the context of death, but the mathematics is clear. The moment of your death is a permanent location in the block universe. It exists. It always will. But here is what that means. Every moment before your death is also a permanent location in the block universe. Every experience you have ever had, every person you have ever loved, every moment of awareness in your entire life, every instant of consciousness from the first to the last, all of it exists permanently as real, equally present locations in the four-dimensional structure of reality. Death does not erase those moments. Nothing can erase those moments. They are coordinates in the block universe, as permanent as the speed of light, as permanent as the gravitational constant, as permanent as any law of physics ever confirmed. The physicist Julian Barber spent decades developing the implications of the block universe for the nature of time and experience. His conclusion was precise. Nothing is ever lost. It is only left behind. You do not stop existing when you die. You stop being located at new coordinates.
Everything you were, every moment of the past that was your consciousness, remains fixed in the structure of spacetime, present forever at the coordinates where it occurred. The question death asks is not whether you will exist. Everything exists in the block universe. The question is where you will be located. Now let's put all three pieces together, because this is where the picture becomes complete. At the exact moment of death, the quantum information that constituted your consciousness releases from the biological structure that was containing it. It disperses into the quantum field. It cannot be destroyed. It changes form and continues. The brain produces its most intense burst of organized conscious activity, gamma waves, more powerful than anything during life, suggesting the moment of death is not an ending, but a transition of extraordinary intensity, the most vivid experience of a lifetime concentrated into its final seconds. And every moment that led to that instant exists permanently in the block universe, fixed, immovable, real, forever. Every experience you ever had is as present at its block universe coordinates as the moment of your death is at its own. Three separate pieces of physics, three separate conclusions, all pointing to the same place. The moment of death is not the end of consciousness. It is the moment consciousness encounters the physics it has been governed by its entire existence, and for the first time, without a biological structure filtering the encounter. The gamma wave surge may be exactly what it looks like: a consciousness meeting reality directly, fully, finally, without the limitations of the biological instrument it spent a lifetime inside. I want to say something honest before we reach the end of this video. None of this is proven the way that classical physics is proven. The Michigan gamma wave study is real and published and reproducible. The quantum no-deletion theorem is real and established and foundational. The block universe is the mainstream physical interpretation of general relativity. But what the dispersed quantum information that was your consciousness becomes, whether it retains coherence as a pattern, whether it can be said to experience anything in its new form, whether the block universe coordinates of your past moments are accessible to a consciousness that has left its temporal position. These questions have not been answered. No instrument has been designed to test them. No equation has fully described them. What physics can tell you is this: there is no mechanism in quantum mechanics for the destruction of the information that constituted your awareness. There is no equation in relativity for the erasure of the moments that composed your life. There is data from dying brains suggesting that the transition point is not a shutdown, but a surge. The assumption that you have been building your entire relationship with death, the assumption that death is an ending, is not supported by the physics. That is the assumption quantum physics just proved wrong. And that is the answer to the fear you came in with. Across 4 episodes, we have covered the evidence that the universe may be a simulation: nature. We have shown that time does not move, that past, present, and future exist simultaneously as permanent locations. We have shown that 3 branches of physics conclude consciousness does not end. And now we have shown what the physics says happens in the exact moment of death. All 4 of these conclusions point to the same thing. You are not a biological organism that produces consciousness and then stops. You are a pattern of quantum information navigating a computed block universe that conserves everything, erases nothing, and ends as nothing. The body is the instrument. You are the signal. And signals in quantum mechanics do not disappear. They change form. They spread. They continue. In the next video, we're going to ask the question that these 4 episodes have been building toward. If the universe is a simulation, if time is a structure you navigate rather than a river you travel down, if consciousness is quantum information that cannot be destroyed, if the block universe makes every moment permanent,